again, my name is Rujita, and in this video I'll be taking a very small topic from the chapter Resources and Development. It is a chapter in the class 10th NCERT book. So in a very layman language, resources means anything that we use to satisfy our needs. It could be anything. It could be a piece of paper to write down anything, or a book, or water to drink, or food to eat, or a flat to live in. Even it could be computer, laptops, or anything that satisfy our needs. So by definition, resources means anything which is available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs, which is technologically accessible, culturally acceptable, and economically feasible. It is termed as resource. So now let's move on to the classification of resources. So resources are classified on the basis of a lot of parameters, in which we'll be studying 4 parameters. So the first one is on the basis of its origin. So the first is biotic and second is abiotic. So biotic resources are those resources which we obtain from biosphere and which has life. For example, flora, fauna, plants, animals, fishes, livestock, or it could be anything which has lives. It could be even humans. And the abiotic resources are those resources which does not have any life. For example, water, sun, or electricity, robots, computers, or anything which does not have any life. So this was on the basis of origin. Now we will be studying about on the basis of exhaustibility. So it is classified into 2 categories again. So first is renewable and second is non-renewable. So renewable resources are those resources which can be renewed again and again and which has a longer period of life. Whereas the non-renewable resources are those resources which does not have a very long period of time and it takes a lot of time to renew again, or practically they are not able to renew itself again. For example, coal, oil, it takes hundreds and hundreds of years to renew it again, whereas some examples of renewable resources are wind energy, solar energy, water energy, which cannot get vanished at any point of time. Now the third is on the basis of ownership. So first is, it is classified into 4 categories. First is individual resource, second is national resource, third is community owned, and fourth is international resource. So the individual resource are those resources which are owned privately by an individual. For example, a flat which belongs to an individual, to a particular person, or a plantation or a farm field, pasture land which belongs to an individual will come under individual resources. The second is community resource. So such resources are not owned by a particular individual, but they belong to a particular community. For example, a garden which is in a society will belong to the entire society and not only just one person. So that garden is or will come under community resource. It could be public parks, picnic spots, playgrounds, or any such thing. Next is national resource. So such resources which belongs to a particular nation are called national resources. For example, if we want to do a coal mining on the land of India, then that particular coal will belong to India only and not any other country. So that coal is a national resource. And the third and the last is, last but not the least, which is international resource. So such resources which does not belongs to any particular country, but they belong to the entire world, to internationally to every world. It is owned by a particular international institution. For example, the oceanic resources beyond 200 kilometers of exclusive economic zone belongs to an open ocean and no other country has right to claim on that ocean but it belongs to international institution. So in the images, we can see that individual resource, a home, can be classified as individual resource. Community owned is a playground. Third is a national resource, which is a railway track or a train. And fourth, the international zone, where all the countries, no particular country has any right to claim on it. And the last is on the basis of development. So first is potential resource. So such resources which found in a region which have not been utilized. For example, solar energy have been found in Gujarat and Rajasthan, but they are not developed fully to use. So these resources are called potential resource. The second one is developed resource. On the other hand, or on the contrary to the potential resource, the developed resources are those resources which are completely fully developed in order to use it. For example, anything or a coal or a cloth which we sell in a market, it is fully developed to be used. Third is stock resource. Stock refers to a material in an environment which have potential to satisfy human needs, but we do not have enough technology to have its access. So again, by definition, we studied that which are the resources which are technologically accessible, but stock resources are those which we cannot access through technology. We do not have enough technology to have its access, or we don't know how to use that resource completely. And the last is reserve resource. So reserve resource is almost a kind of stock resource which are yet to be put into use with the help of existing technology. We know how to use it, but we have not completely used it. So all those resources will belong to reserve resources. For example, river water can be used for generating hydroelectricity power, but presently it's being utilized only to a limited extent and we are not using it completely, which it will come into reserve resource. So these were all the classification or the 4 classification of resources. I hope this topic is clear to all of you.